So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to take a look at the Power Rangers Dino Thunder Thundersaurus Megazord. Finally, a Megazord. I completed one of my ones that was not completed, and here we have it. And yes, I'm using Legacy Bulkhead's box. Why? Because they're very short comparatively to this unit, who's not even on screen fully. Which is why we're going to take a look at them individually. I just wanted to get the shot of them all in frame, because otherwise, yeah, they're going to be off camera, because he is massive compared to them. This is the Megazord that I would like to say 80% is one Zord, and the other 10% are those. But anyway, we're going to get this started. So we're going to first take a look at the Pteranodon, and then we're going to take a look at the Triceratops, and then we're going to take a look at Red. So let's just get into this. And so first up, we have the thing I was missing. The yellow Pteranodon Zord. Yes, the pterodactyl. I was missing it my entire life. I had this thing since I was like 5 years old, and I've never owned the yellow Zord until today. I ordered it off of eBay. It was like $50. That's the worst part. This was $50. It's puny. It is genuinely puny. It's not that much. But the lucky thing that I had with mine is this has this section here, which is removable. I had it with the original. I didn't have the whole yellow Zord, but I somehow had the helmet. And if you try to get this thing secondhand, it never has the helmet. So that is one thing to watch out for. I was lucky enough to have the helmet. But as far as it goes, I mean, the damage on it's a little eh. I mean, there's a couple spots, couple nicks on it. As you can see, there's a bit of some scuffage on that nice metallic green. Also a bit on the beak there. I mean, it's pretty nice. You can't do that pose I usually like to do with, like, swoop, where it's like that. That doesn't look right. I don't know why I always base it off the Ark Survival Evolved type Pteranodon landing or pterodactyl landing. Is it Pteranodon or pterodactyl? Are they two different things? I have no idea. I'm not that good with dinosaurs. But you can do that, I guess, if you want a landed form. Looks like funny, but you can do it. Of course, you can get a little flying form out of it. That does sit quite well, although it does have a bit of a rattle due to the helmet. As far as it goes, it's a pretty nice Zord. You know, it's actually a pretty nice Zord. But that's it for the Pteranodon, so let's get into the Triceratops. The Triceratops here is very nice as well. The plastic, I should mention, on these guys is phenomenal. It feels awesome. It is that nice, chunky plastic. That Disney-era plastic, to me, is awesome. Now, my Triceratops does have a slight break, but I just noticed it, and I don't think it happened while I had it, which is one of the clips that peg the tail on there is broken off. Which means I gotta be a little careful. But as far as the Zord goes, looks really good. The nice chromed silver and gold on it, very nice. I know it's a bit dirty looking, unfortunately. But man, does it look good. He has a little gimmick where you press the little gray lever on the back of the head. It can make the horns move, which is nice. I mean, he's just a solid brick. He doesn't have any movement to him. He's just a brick, and that's fine. Because he is nice. Very good Zord. He does have an opening and closing mouth, though. I mean, the coloring's nice. The paint on these things is awesome. That's the thing. These are the American versions, and they have such good paint. It's crazy. And I'm pretty sure the only difference between the Japanese and the American is that there's gold paint on the red Zord that's supposed to be chrome gold. That's the only difference, if I'm not mistaken, that I've been able to see between them. But yeah, that's the Triceratops Zord, so let's get into the big one. So yeah, he gets the big setup, because like I mentioned, this is a 80-10-10 Megazord for a percentage of what they form. The three Zord Megazords, the first two, were absolutely abysmal for the Zord sizes. Because like I mentioned, this is the red Zord, right? And as you've seen in the beginning, there's yellow and blue. They're puny compared to them. And much like the same thing with Ninja Storm, another Megazord holy grail of mine, the yellow Zord forms like 90% of that thing. Red is the head, and then I think blue is an arm. Similar whole thing here. Similar thing going on here. As far as red goes, looks great. It does have that chrome there, much like blue, and he's quite large. I might have to just pull that down. As you can see, there's the front. The paint on the face looks good. The mouth can open and close, which is nice. The tail is there, and it does have a drill motion because it has electronics, which is nice. But in this form, you actually have a button you can press, which is right there, and that will rotate it as well. It's only when it's on that way, though. there's 2 switches. This one is for all times, middle is off, and then forward is button. So that's pretty neat. As far as it goes, I also like the kind of silver and black on the side. This thing also has one of the best battery trays I think you could ask for. It's right there. So that's pretty nice. It's really convenient because it's barely even noticeable that it's there. Although I wonder how it goes with the white Zord, because the white Zord I know pegs onto this, if I'm not mistaken, so it might be a little odd. As far as it goes with the legs, there they are. They look pretty good. He has little dino arms as well. They have a bit of articulation forward and back with a tilt. The legs can move as well, and they also kind of the knee and the foot tilt, but I put him out of whack, and I managed to finally get him in a standing pose without him falling over, so that's pretty good, and that's just me not being able to put him right. But yeah, that is the Tyranno, so let's just get into the combo, and I don't even need to, like, edit this, because they're right there. So, for the combination, first thing I'm going to do is come to the legs, and I'm going to unpeg the hips of the Tyrannosaurus, and don't undo the leg in its entirety. I have no idea why the legs actually come off, because I don't think any auxiliary Zords go on the legs. Fold those down, fold out those like that, fold those out, fold out that section, and then just make sure it's straightened out, and there we have that. Fold up the little baby arms into the section there, not unpeg that, unpeg that, and then rotate it back. This is going extremely well in my confined little space. Rotate the chest like so, flip down the drill, flip up the dino head, and then flip it back down so it's front and center, like so. Then take blue, and for blue, you're going to simply fold up all the limbs, and then peg them on, form the arm, and then for yellow. So for yellow, you're going to remove the butt, flip in these sections, and then flip the head down like so. And then for the butt section, just flip the legs up like that. And then we're going to do a head reveal. And there we are. Very nice. And then for yellow, so yellow has a couple of points where it pegs on, but you also have to try to get the head to go up into the T-Rex head. So it pegs onto the crotch. Also pegs onto the chest in 2 spots. And then you can add the helmet. Do a little bit of a pushback because it's a little tall. And there we have the thundersaurus Megazord. Here it looks pretty good. I love this. This is one of my favorite Megazords, if not my favorite one. I love this. Dino Thunder is my favorite season of Power Rangers. I'm not going to let that just sit there. I'm going to say it. It is my favorite one. I haven't even watched it fully. It's just the one I remember most as a kid. I have a lot of nostalgia around it, and it's the one I just like the most. And the Megazord is a bit unique. It doesn't have typical hands, as you can tell. It has a drill for a left arm and then a Triceratops head for a right arm. But luckily it has a pinchy feature for a hand. But it does actually have hands, which we will get to. As far as it goes, this is one of the more clean Megazords, and it actually technically kind of has kibble. It has flaps. That's like the definition of kibble right there. Like usually it's like, oh, you know, it's just kind of there. But no, those I don't think are supposed to be there. So I think they're genuine kibble. And this thing is just awesome looking. The chrome shoulders are a very nice touch. And of course, the drill function still works, but only the back one, as yellow blocks the button. The button is like behind yellow, and you can't really press yellow to get it. At least I don't want to. I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, the folded up yellow, I mean, yellow is kind of the definition of, there's a 3-part Megazord, and it didn't do much. It formed a chest piece and a helmet. So the way I put it is 80% of the Megazord is red, 10% is blue, 8% is yellow, and then the other 2% is the helmet from yellow. So that's how I put it. That's how I put this Megazord. I mean, as far as it goes, this is nice. But the thing about this Megazord is it actually kind of has a couple of forms, which also increases the articulation. A little more articulate Megazords, if we're being honest here. I just want to display the articulation in this form first. The right arm has the typical brick, but this has forward and out. Also the rotation, but that's more for later. But also, if you kind of undo the middle, it has forward leg, a bit of back if the legs aren't, if you move the arms out of the way. But also a knee joint, very shallow knee joint, but it's there. For a Megazord, that's pretty good. Now, there's a couple things you can do. First and foremost, you can remove some bits. Which, hey, a hand. And the blue also has a hand. You can then take the Triceratops, and then I know it's just going right back where it was technically, but I'd rather have this. So you basically take a blue's tail, flip it down, and then take red's tail, put it on top, and you get the sword, which looks pretty good. And I like to put it in left arm because, yes, it has a technical rotation, though very loose, because, yeah, it's not supposed to hold things, probably. It can hold them occasionally, but as soon as it gets bumped, it's going like that. That's just how it is. But also, it has the outward motion along with the swivel, meaning this is a really good sword-wielding hand. Like, really good. And of course, like I mentioned, it has the Triceratops shield, which I usually put in the left hand, but it just falls over every time. And the sword is pretty cool. Like I said, it's a neat idea to have the tails combine. I do like that. And I like that yellow is still represented in a way as the handle. You can do that. But technically, this isn't supposed to be meant for this form. And this is where my theory of how mine comes from. Because mine never had yellow. Mine, when I bought it as a kid, was like this. This is how my Thundersaurus Megazord has been for like 16 years. I don't remember. I was like 5, I think, when I got it. It's been like that. I never had yellow. I've not had yellow until today. So this is like my first time actually handling it with yellow. But that's because this is an actual form, believe it or not. This is considered the Thundersaurus incomplete form. And I've seen multiple reviews mention this, and that it exists. So I'm guessing that mine, when I bought it, they just put the helmet on it, and yellow was just missing. Yellow's gone. The yellow Dino Thunder Zord was just gone. So we got this. And as far as this one goes, I mean, it's nice, I guess. It just doesn't have yellow, but it actually gains a bit of articulation only because of a waist joint. Yes, it regains the waist that yellow blocks because yellow pegs into the crotch and then up here into these 2 slots. But of course, it also has all of the arm articulation in the left arm, which makes it really good at wielding swords. It's a whole thing. That's really it. And as far as displaying it, I'm going to display it with arms. If I'm being honest here with you, I'm going to display it with the arms. I prefer it with the arms. It makes it look a little more normal, but it's the whole charm of it, that it's a bit abnormal. It was the second 3-part Megazord, if I'm not mistaken. This was the second one. Well, at least that we have. I don't know if there was any in Sentai. I have no idea. As far as my thoughts on this Megazord goes, it's great. Was it worth the 16-year wait? I mean, I guess. I mean, I've had it the whole time, and yellow doesn't add too much to it. So I've kind of had all these years to look at it. And I like it. It's just a very good Megazord. It's solid. There's nothing wrong with it. The plastic of this era is unmatched to me. The Disney era is just awesome to me. I don't know why. The early Disney era, I should specify. Once you get like to a couple of the later ones, like Operation Overdrive is the beginning of the end, even though I'd have slight nostalgia for that season as well. Yeah, I don't know. I love those suits. I love those suits. The Megazord's pretty alright too, but the show sucked. But this thing's good. I like it a lot. It's getting a 5 out of 5. I know it's a Dino Megazord. I know it is. Now I just need Dino Charge, and I have all 4 Dino Megazords. That's the only one I don't have. now that this is complete. And I mean, this is great. It's an awesome Megazord. If you can get it, I would recommend it. Obviously, Megazords aren't that cheap. They're pretty expensive. And I only know this because I paid $50 for this. Yeah, and the whole thing's like $150. So that's my own problem for not having yellow for all those years, and the cheapest one being $50 Canadian. But yeah, that has been our review of the Power Rangers Dino Thundersaurus Megazord. This has been Eilt Elite signing out.